Good morning, everybody. It is Drew from Atlantis, and I am going to be working with Bolivar, Colby, and myself to install a trio of our stack slate spheres, plus a trio of basalt columns here in this backyard that's getting a total renovation. Here you can see around this pool we're getting some new coping, new patio, cool retractable cover for the pool. They're going to reset that once the coping is finished. But over here in this far corner, what we are going to be installing right over here is our trio of basalt columns. These are an awesome accent water feature where it's just going to add the sights and sounds of trickling, bubbling water, plus accented at night with our nighttime illumination. So that's going to be a cool feature to draw your attention into this corner. They'll clean up this garbage, clean that fence, and then do a nice planting all the way through here. So this is going to be a simple way to fill this corner, which might ordinarily be left, you know, just mulch and plants. But this here has been an active construction site. They did some incredible work here underneath their porch. They've got an awesome outdoor kitchen here. Again, more of these big pavers. This is a great outdoor living space. The family can come out, enjoy. They're gonna have their pool for the summer, outdoor fireplace, outdoor kitchen, super cool entertainment space. But over here, they buried their electric for our feature in the corner. So we are in great shape. We're just gonna help them cover this up so we can start tracking in our stuff and begin digging in that corner. Oh man, it says so right here, guys. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I love my job, and that is a fact, even when we find surprises. Kobe,
yeah,
what's in the ground?
Lots of fun stuff. We have some irrigation pipe, we have wires, we have an irrigation box, we have some valves in there. There's a tree.
A tree? It can't be a whole tree. What is that? That's actually the stump.
That's the whole stump.
So unfortunately, although we have our machine, we can't come across this way or around this way. So we're gonna have to use shovels, axes, clippers. We have to dig this out, move this irrigation box, which is gonna have to be replaced and repaired later anyway. But right now, that's the fun Kobe's having. So we're gonna get to it and get this out of the ground, because our basin for those basalt columns is going to sit right in this space. So we've got our work cut out for us, but we're waiting for another machine to show up to move some of the pavers on the other side. So here we go. Hole for our basin has been excavated. I had to put it in first. It fit well, but it was kind of hung up on that back corner, so I cleaned out that further corner, and now I'm gonna set in this basin. Here on the top, we've got our access panel. This is where the pump will sit. There's a little notch out here for where the cord goes, and then we're also gonna be installing on the side here an autofill, which again, their irrigation company will have to set up. We will leave a whip out of the ground, that way they can connect into that 1/2-inch line. But here, this is where the pump sits, and then connected to the pump, which will be split into 3 separate lines. So I'm gonna get this in place. I'm also gonna level it side to side, front to back, make sure that the base is sitting nice and level. There's no air pockets, so this thing won't settle or sink over time, because those stones are very heavy. Probably the largest one is over 100 pounds. We've got 3 of them, so I'm gonna work on getting this settled. Kobe and Boli are on the far end of the project here, getting our basin for where those aqua blocks will sit with the vault, so we can get that started as soon as I wrap up over here. So we are making great progress. Electric is already into the corner, so we'll have our outlets to plug this in. I can't wait to finish this one. So let's see. All right, so these stones, believe it or not, they're not that large looking, but these have got to be the densest formed rocks I've ever come across. This guy up here easily weighs over 200 pounds. Thank goodness I had the help of my friend Volkart over here, because without that, getting these over here by myself was gonna be a bit of a challenge. Again, those guys are working on the other basin. I wanna get this all finished up and ready to go so I can jump in and help them finish that. So I've got the basin in, I've leveled it side to side, front to back, and then I packed in my soil all the way around it. Really, really good, because I don't want stuff sliding in as water or runoff from rain or anything. I don't want this thing going anywhere. This is holding a lot of weight on top. It is designed to do such, but I wanted to make sure that nothing's gonna happen. These things are almost in position. I'm gonna play around with their orientation a little bit, but what I need to do next, each one of these is core drilled, and they're core drilled to allow or to accept 3/4 inch kink-free pipe. So what I need to do is, once I get them oriented, is kind of tilt them over, see where the hole lines up, make a mark for each one of those, and drill a hole. I have to be careful not to drill where it says do not drill. And it does say that on some of these spots. I've also got my vacuum. I'm gonna clean this all up real well, because I will have to shim these just to give them some stability. We're gonna put in some character boulders and gravel to make all of this disappear. We're also highlighting this with 3 1-watt LED bulbs. So once I get those holes marked, I'm gonna drill a hole, plumb all of the piping underneath. We've got a manifold with 3 valves from the pump. That's gonna allow us to fine tune and dial in the flow out of each one of these. So right now I have to put the camera down, but you guys follow along here. I am about to get this moving along.
We have Drew over there in the opposite side of the yard. He's working on getting the 3 basalt columns installed on top of the Aqua Basin 45. Me and Boley are here in the other corner of the yard. We have made a basin out of the aqua blocks. We have a total of 12 aqua blocks, and the vault, we have a first layer of fabric on the bottom to protect the liner from all the rocks in this dirt, because it is full of garbage and all kinds of sharp things that could easily put a hole in the liner. And we have another layer of fabric in between the liner and the aqua blocks to help protect it from the sharp corners. And Boley's working on getting this stuff all straightened out right now, so we can get our edging in shape of how we want to do this with our spheres. And we are going to keep on moving.
Day 2, guys. We are back on this project here in West Orange, New Jersey, completing our 2 different fountainscapes. We've got a trio of basalt columns in one corner, and then our trio of stacked slate spheres in the other. So a little bit left to do on the basalt columns, but that is just about wrapped up. But over here on the spheres, me and the guys have a bunch to do still. You saw earlier, we got our basin in. That's comprised of 12 aqua blocks plus our vault. And then on top, we've got our large, medium, and small urns. What we've got to do now is connect all of our plumbing into each one of these, and then we're going to be making a manifold which will allow us to control the flow to each one of these, which comes directly out of our pump. Now on this one here, we're going to be using Aquascape's 2 to 4,000 variable flow pump. But then coming out of the vault, we're going to drill a hole straight through here, go into a manifold with 3 valves, one controlling each one of the spheres. This way we turn the pump on, dial it to the flow that's most optimal for the best flow, and then we can really fine tune how much is bubbling out of the top. In addition to connecting the plumbing, we have to do our stonework. We also brought in some fill soil to get us up to grade over around this corner. We really want to accent these curves using some stone and gravel to give this a nice natural shape. So let's get to it. So I wanted to quickly show you what we do when we connect our lights. So this feature is going to have 3 1-watt lights just to highlight all the front sides of it. But what we do to make a nice clean connection, so I have 3 lines coming in from each of those corresponding lights in this feature. What we have here is a typical 6-inch irrigation box, and we've kind of modified it just a little bit. Let me open it up here. So you see I've got holes in the side here, and then I've also cut a notch out over here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna run all 3 wires through this hole here, get them into here, cut them to length so there's not too much excess, but enough in case we need to make adjustments. The second hole is where our main line is gonna come in from that transformer. Then that will power all of these lights inside here. We're using silicone packed waterproof wire nuts. I also have all my tools here to strip the wires, to clip the wires. And then this notch here, since the feature is gonna be very close to the outlet, there's gonna be a lot of leftover power cord from the pump. So I'm gonna wrap it up nicely, tape it so it's just not a mess of spaghetti in there. It'll be nice and neat. This is gonna be sunk and the lid flush with the grade of soil over here. Enough plug to go right into the outlet, which will eventually be here. You can see the electrician has his wire. So this is just a nice way to keep everything neat and professional, keeps it clean. We know where it all is. We don't have to go digging up landscape, moving mulch. But this is an excellent way to keep it all together, to keep it clean, and it looks nice. This one is getting so close to finishing here. We have got a cool natural shape here with the little beaching up into the soil. So we rounded off the back. Bully did an awesome job there. We filled it in with soil just to help hold our liner up, so any splash that's going to be going that way will get caught in the liner, make its way back down into the basin. So over here, the shape of it just kind of follows the contour of where these different spheres are. Over there, Bully's in that far corner, just wrapping up that edge there. We're cleaning up our garbage. We are gonna rinse and then fire this thing up. Oh boy, the weather is coming in, guys. So here we've got our finished slate sphere trio, and that consists here of the large, medium, and small. We've got it all plumbed together, running off one pump. It's the AquaSurge 2 to 4000 variable flow pump with the smart controller. So I'll show you that in a second. Each one of these is plumbed with hard pipe. This way we get the maximum flow to create that spout that you see sticking out at the tops like that. The pump is flowing at full speed, and we have our ball valves dialed in to make sure that they all have just about an equal spout at the top. Smart controller here sits on the back, this way allowing you to slow down or speed up the flow. And then we also have our power button. This is also a Wi-Fi controllable remote here, so you can download the app from Aquascape, and that way you open up your phone and say, hey, turn the pump on, turn the pump off. Or if you got guests over, which they probably will because they have such a cool outdoor living space. And then in this far corner here, this is also a neat little fountain. So this is the trio of basalt columns sitting on that aqua basin that we showed you earlier in the video, set down below grade, did some neat stonework to hold back some soil, and then just to accent around the edges. We gravelled it. We've got 3 lights in here. This is running on an AquaSurge 2000 pump, plumbed through a manifold similar to what we used on the other one, with little ball valves so we can control the flow. It's actually running at full flow right now. So each one of these is flowing really nice, and it's just a gentle spill and bubble out of the tops of each of those. Such a cool accent to be in this corner where normally it could be a neglected corner of the yard, but now it's a piece of interest in the landscape. They're gonna have the rest of this all cleaned up, new plants, mulch, all through here. We also have an autofill connected over here. The landscaper will tap into the irrigation, but check out the views you get from all around the backyard here. That upper deck would probably be where I would hang out. So I'll have to stop back when all of the construction here is finished. But man, these things are awesome.